Lost Ark is the newest ARPG MMO on the block at the time of this recording, and although it was released in 2019 in South Korea, it just came to the US and Europe this month, and is doing really well, and in fact, it does a lot of things right, getting mostly positive reviews. Today, let's take a look at Lost Ark, and I will offer my opinion on the Diablo-like MMO. The character creator is good enough to make a unique toon for yourself, but be careful, the beard options are a little buried, and much like the rest of the game, there is a smooth way to roll through it quickly or to uncover more options if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty. One of my major complaints about Lost Ark pops up here with the gender-locked classes. I know this is fairly common in South Korean MMOs, but I just really wish this kind of thing would go away. Once in the game, it takes off pretty quickly, with this tutorial not feeling like it is holding your hand too much. It throws you pretty quickly into some gorgeous scenes that immediately show you that even though this is a top-down view, it has a lot of sweeping angles, and this really helps it feel more cinematic, along with the fact that the environments themselves look really good. Most of the voice acting feels a bit hollow and stiff, but I've certainly seen worse. There is this feeling of I've done this before due to, in big part, the bad voice acting. But if you hang out for just a little bit, the addictive side of Lost Ark will begin to take hold. There may not be anything extremely unique going on here, but everything on offer is lightning fast. The quests are quick and to the point, making doing the mundane side quests a matter that I found myself not minding, since it wasn't going to take much more of my time, and most of them relate with something you will probably be doing anyway. The battles are super flashy, and although that might be a slight turnoff for me, I do believe that for the masses, this is what a lot of people want. And the amount of enemies Lost Ark throws at you is absolutely overwhelming. But don't worry, almost every class, if not every class, has plenty of AoEs, and the animations of the mobs as they are ripped apart is definitely very satisfying. For much of my audience, if they can get past the K-pop type art style of the characters, and if you enjoy Diablo ARPG games, you can find many hours of entertainment here. And the questing of the main story doesn't take long, and then the game does open up. There is plenty of customization of your abilities as well, with skill trees galore to change the functionality of your attacks, and upgrades feel really good in use. You can definitely feel your power growing as you upgrade them. I did keep feeling this overwhelming sensation that there was nothing really special about Lost Ark as I was playing it, but I was addicted anyway and kept going and kept leveling up. Kept seeing more of the story, which by the way, the story of Lost Ark is pretty good, I thought, even if it is a little bogged down by some pretty poor voice acting, and I do believe that the reason many people get addicted to Lost Ark falls in its general gameplay loop. It is just so fast and so satisfying to kill so many things, and the boss fights are fun, although in my opinion so far not very difficult, and it does mix solo dungeons with group dungeons and fetch quests with story moments, and it just looks really good. All of these things combined will have many players hooked on the formula, and if they keep this MMO updated, I can for sure see it excelling in the future and having a good run and staying relevant. Many people are claiming it is a better Diablo, or more Diablo than Diablo, and this is definitely something I clearly felt as well. Once again, if you can get past the weeb factor, this does feel like what Diablo should have evolved into, in my opinion. An ARPG that is also an MMO, with some group gameplay with different difficulty modes as you play through, better rewards for the higher difficulty of course, and I do think Blizzard should probably take some notes before launching Diablo 4. I have noticed also that a lot of World of Warcraft refugees are finding Lost Ark to be a lot of fun, and I think this has to do with the general gameplay loop I mentioned earlier. It's addictive, and you always want to do one more quest, finish one more dungeon, until your day has melted away, or at least many hours. Now let's talk about after the story, which is very quick by the way, and what the gameplay looks like after that. As is popular with South Korean MMORPGs, Lost Ark adopts a system where you gather materials to increase your equipment levels. However, there is a limit to how much of the materials you can get per day, and as your equipment gets higher in levels, the more likely it is for the upgrade to fail. This RNG type upgrading is fun for many and hated by many others, so just know know that this is what upgrading your gear looks like in Lost Ark at the end game. It's a BDO type system, in other words. Lost Ark is a free-to-play game with some sneaky pay-to-win aspects kind of tucked away that you probably won't notice until you're late into the game. On one hand, I understand the developer has to make money. On the other hand, I hate pay-to-win, and although there are ways around having to slap down your wallet, it will require some hefty grinding and dedication. It eases the burden if you become a member with a subscription, and a subscription can be earned in the game, but once again, it will take quite a bit of grinding. A major issue I want to mention is that at the time of this recording, Lost Ark has a major spam in chat about buying in-game currencies. I turned the general chat off quickly as it was so bad I almost couldn't see anything else but all of the spam, so I recommend doing that immediately. I can see Lost Ark coming to consoles soon, also as it already has controller support, and although it felt wonky to me, I just personally feel like these ARPGs work better with the keyboard and mouse, but that's my personal opinion. So let's talk overall. Lost Ark is a fun distraction for me. It's fun to lose a few hours grinding, and it will be great if you just want to vent out some stress from a long day at work. It doesn't feel like it's overburdening you with much. It's simple, easy to understand, and satisfying to melt mobs. And then you have moments where you will play with other people. Sure, the multiplayer aspect isn't deep or enriching to your life in any way, but it's there to remind you that there are other people, and honestly, it feels a lot like Final Fantasy XIV's multiplayer while leveling up. If you like ARPGs like Diablo, there's an extremely high chance you will like Lost Ark. It is gorgeous, and the use of environments and the sweeping camera for cutscenes makes it feel better than your typical bird's eye view ARPG. Getting loot upgrades, smashing through quests, and massive AoEs keep the action feeling fun and refreshing. And although the voice acting is subpar, the story is pretty good enough to be serviceable and worth watching. I think from the fun factor alone, Lost Ark can find a place in MMO history, and if they keep up with new content, invest in adding more classes, get rid of the gender-locked ones, for example, and keep adding more options quick enough, it could be very successful. Even if Lost Ark isn't an MMORPG I would play religiously, it is good enough for me to play mindlessly to blow off some steam or to explore it deeper over time. And that is more than enough for me to say that Lost Ark is a great ARPG and a fairly predictable MMORPG. Because it is free to play though, you shouldn't ignore it. It costs nothing but your time to try it out and see if it scratches an itch for you. If you are new here, please consider subscribing for more MMORPG content and hit that like button. Help me fight the evil YouTube algorithm. And leave me a comment down below on what you think of Lost Ark or of my review of Lost Ark. And until next time, my friends, God bless and happy gaming. I want to give a major shout out to the members of Napalm. Thanks to their contributions, I can get the equipment and gear that I need to keep this channel ticking, covering MMOs, RPGs, and of course, puppets. If you're interested in becoming a member of Napalm, please click the join button down below. It would be greatly appreciated. And a very special major shout out to the Lords of Napalm, Bounty Code, We Toke Bitcoins, Jared Woodhouse, Daimlos, and Farthest Reach. Thank you for your highest tier membership.
Captain, more trolls incoming!